Okay, so welcome to our third video for COMP3218 Game Design at University of Southampton. So my name is Dave Millard, I'm a lecturer on the course.
Hi, I'm Ricky Prince, I also lecture on the course.
Hi, I'm Rachel Day and I'm a PhD student.
And I'm Tom Blount and I'm another PhD student.
So we've got 5 games to look at. Tom, do you want to say a little bit about what we asked the students to do?
Yep, absolutely. So we asked the students to design a small game prototype that contains a story engine. That is something that means the gameplay will affect the narrative and vice versa. And we asked them to make this prototype based on one of 3 fairy tales, either Rumpelstiltskin, the Frog Prince, or the Goats Gruff.
So far we've only had Rumpelstiltskins and Goats Gruff stories. I'm not sure if we've got...
There's at least a Frog Prince somewhere, isn't there?
There's two,
I think this match is all goats. It's goats all the way down.
Maybe we should have grouped them by goats. What's the first game, Dave? What's it called?
First one is called Trolled.
Trolled. There we go. Right, who saw this in the expo?
I saw this in the expo.
You don't sound so sure.
Ooh.
So a cutscene.
So yeah, cutscene.
Skippable cutscene as well.
Cute troll.
That is an adorable troll.
So this one...
That was a long time ago as well.
Yeah.
So in this one you actually play as the troll, kind of, which is...
Oh,
that's
nice.
Yeah.
Not enough people do that.
Yeah.
One of the things I really like about this is that they've managed to do a cutscene just by doing pan and zoom on that.
Yeah.
That's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Just shows you can do it quite straightforwardly.
Art style's quite nice as well.
Looks similar to that last one we played.
That's a
army of goats.
That's a whole load of goats.
That's more than 3 Billy Goats.
I hope this is like Space Invaders, but with goats dropping from the sky, and you have to like troll them away.
Kind of.
Hungry.
It's goat tower defense is what is
Yeah.
what this
Oh,
troll
interesting.
is.
So these are the
Troll defense.
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah, troll defense.
Goats set out to conquer
Made
the
to
land.
fight.
What are they called
Balloons.
in? Balloons.
So they're setting up the premise nicely. At least we know what
Creeps,
we're about.
That's what they call
Is
it
that
now.
Incy Wincy Spider?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so
How
we've
do I
got
select the
path.
tower?
Wave 1.
So
And
like,
you've got
what-
5.
I don't
You've got
actually
5
know.
apples
And 20 hearts.
and 20 hearts.
Quick.
oh, so you can only. Let me put it here.
I don't
The
actually know.
terrifying.
Wait, how do I
name.
put one there?
I
Click,
don't know.
Oh, I
You
select
have
that.
to select it and then
and then
click
click
on
on the
it.
tile, I think.
Oh, I thought I had
Yeah.
done that.
There you go,
Something
there you
else
go.
here. Click.
Click, click.
Quick, calm down, guys. I'm
No, come on.
being tactical. It's a tower
Don't be
defense.
tactical, there are goats on their
Tower
way.
defense.
This is no time for tactics.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got one.
Oh, we've got...
Like thematically, what is this?
So when you kill a goat, you get an apple.
Yeah. It's standard
'Cause-
tower defense.
'cause that's-
And then you turn the
Look at it.
apples into high-powered killing machines, because of
Yeah.
course you do.
That's what I mean. Like, what are these things? Like, why is
That's
my
a good
troll
point.
able to build towers?
Try
Like,
clicking on that. I just want to see what that extra power up does. Before you... Does that let you just whack? Yeah.
Oh, just
That's
gives
pretty
you.
cool.
So you got
that-
every 30
oh,
seconds.
but we got a
you can just whack.
cooldown.
You get a whack, and what does that do? Destroy all the goats, or?
I don't know. There was only one.
And if you click on a tower, it tells you. So that's an arrow tower.
Oh, okay. So
So what's the middle tower? If you click on that. It's a
Mud
mud
tower,
tower, slows
slows-
people.
okay.
And then the blue one, fire tower, high damage fireballs.
It's just fun. I like tower defense.
Yeah, I have to say, I have a chronic weakness for tower defense.
If you play Pixel Junk Monsters, Dave,
I've
you
spent,
should pick it up on the
Yeah.
PS4. It's really good. I think it's great.
I have a terrible weakness for tower defense games.
Just arrows flying off the screen.
Okay, so one of the things that quite a lot of tower defense games do, which is a really good idea, is have a speed up time button.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would
so-
be good.
I was just
What
about
were you trying to say, Dave?
Hey, there's another kind of goat.
Sorry.
Oh look,
goat.
it's one of those terrifying fast green goats.
Oh no! Well, I'm not gonna.
We can't.
Just pop it.
Yeah, we can't actually shoot them.
Oh.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Oh, boss.
Yeah,
Uh,
so
Oh, so
this game has
this, I
three
guess.
bosses, which are meant to
Yeah.
mirror the 3 goats.
Oh wait, hang on. This is. Oh, my God.
To get graze on your side of the bridge. If you let me pass, I will not fight you.
Okay, so there is
Yeah.
still that sort of
My brother is
poetics.
much like let the kid, and he's like, some food.
Wait, and it costs. Well, I just spent it on a new tower, so I can't.
You've got to fight the goat.
Fine.
So what happened?
I don't feel I'm not getting enough resources to really.
What's the
Yeah.
point of letting it through if it costs you food and you don't have to fight it?
Narrative, I guess.
I guess also, if you lose to this boss, then you lose.
Yeah, but
No,
So
it
that
might
should
just be
buy
that.
stuff out.
No, because you could let it through, but then you're just
I think we need another arrow
saving
tower.
yourself.
This time, put
I
the
want
arrow
one of
tower.
these.
Like there.
Put it. Yeah, or put it so it can fire down one of the straights. Because those are the fast goats were a
No,
problem.
not there.
No, that's a dreadful place.
You said fine. Oh, one of the long straights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't say that, did you? Why are they red?
They're stronger
I
goats.
quite like the fact that the faster goats means that the arrow towers miss them on an angle. That's quite nice.
Again, it's
in
sort
terms
of
of the
that
tower
element of
defense
strategy
element,
and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is quite neat.
It's very
it's a
very
really
nicely
nicely
done. Actually.
made game.
I can feel myself getting that tower defense.
Yeah, it's
crack
definitely
feeling.
fun.
Yeah, it is very very playable.
There we go, Dave. Is
That- now I'm
better
happy.
for you?
Now we definitely need one of those big fireball things.
Oh, I've got blue goats now as well.
Do we get more for killing the more complicated
Nope,
ones?
we
No,
get
that's
one.
a bit annoying.
Yeah.
I feel like we should get more reward for that.
Also, just because I'm in nitpicky mode, it'd be nice if there was some upgrades as well. That's
Yeah,
just
well,
Yeah.
I want to upgrade my towers. Can you destroy a tower?
Nah.
So
No,
once
I
you've
think
placed
that.
it, it's gone for good.
oh, dude, this looks bad.
Well, we've got
Why,
plenty
Tom?
of health.
Why?
Hit the. Yeah. So that's quite
That's
fun
pretty
as well.
great,
That-
yeah.
that-
Save all.
and I don't know why, but I really like the troll.
I really like the troll.
Not only does he look great, but and that little cutscene really develops him a little bit. But actually, that action is really quite fun as well. We want to get some fireballs.
So what does that makes him a antagonist? Sorry, protagonist.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, really nice
but-
protagonist.
what's the one where you an anti-hero protagonist? Is that right?
Yeah, but
Oh
has he
no,
even-
no, no!
Like, what has he really done to make him an
No.
anti-hero? I suppose he's
Right.
killed
'Cause
loads
he's
of
a
goats.
troll.
You can put down a
Where do we want it?
there.
Yeah, put it there.
Boss incoming. That's nice as well. Actually, on the warning thing going on.
Okay, so again, story
Oh,
engine at work.
I just spent my
Yeah.
spent my money again.
So again, that's
Oh.
so like the one thing I was worried about, like looking at this game, was
Yeah.
like it's a neat little game, but it doesn't quite have
Yes.
that sort of poetic. But it still has like the three goats, and it still has this.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
let me
does.
pass. That's really nice.
So
Yeah,
What
you can't.
Oh, you actually can't let it through.
Can't,
because
yeah.
it's
here we go.
There's just
But
not
on the
enough
plus side,
not-
we'll
not
get to see our
resources to-
fireball thing in action.
Yay.
I wonder how much damage this big goat does.
Right, like I don't feel that threatened by them because.
I don't know. They're terrifying. All that whinnying.
But I mean, we've got 19 hearts and one got through before and we only lost one heart. So
Yeah. But then often with tower defense, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like how much can you sacrifice
Early
in order to save up for the super tower that you need. You can whack the thing
I
again.
hope it
I
makes
don't
it
think
Oh,
to
I'm
the
waiting for the
final.
fire.
Ah,
There you
here's
go,
the fireball.
cool.
I don't feel that fire is actually any more effective than anything
Yeah,
else.
but it looks a lot
Sort of
cooler.
Wave 7. So, should we start discussing it while we're waiting for the last stage to
Yeah, I
happen
think
here?
probably should.
Yeah.
So okay. So in terms of the quality,
it's
It's
nice and
nice,
polished.
it's good.
it's
yeah.
really nicely polished. Actually, I think it really well put together,
Like
It's
and
simple.
it seems quite well balanced
It's
as well.
surprising how well you can polish and balance a game when you make it a single screen and 2D
Yes.
Yeah.
rather than an enormous universe with 8,000 trees.
Absolutely. You might have to whack your club.
that's the thing,
Oh.
right? It feels like maybe they could tweak the balance a little, like with either upgrades. or
no,
extra resources.
disaster!
But fundamentally, really solid, I think.
But yeah, it's definitely.
So
Yeah,
the
it's good.
story engine. So this is kind of interesting because the story engine is the
So it's not hugely complex. There are certainly elements
No.
of it there, like so. It's so poetics wise, it's still got the fact that there are the three like boss goats, and they ask you to go past,
yeah. So it has
and
so
they remember
they've,
what happened as well. So that's
so
Yeah,
in
that's
terms of
true.
in terms of the mechanics as
Like-
Hi, Blue!
yeah, we had a
Two.
road goat. And
I barely did anything.
Well, you could lay some more towers down.
No, because I want to let the last one
you're
through.
gonna be fine anyway.
You want to let the last one through.
The boss. So it'd be nice if like there was slightly
You're gonna
more to
need
it, like
20
if
more.
those goats,
No,
Yeah.
15,
Like,
surely.
based
I
on your
can't
health or
think.
something, they were saying,
There's-
haha, I can
So
see it.
I would say that one of the problems we have here, this is a very nice game, but actually the story engine. So how do the mechanics affect the story? How does the story affect the mechanics? So you can make a choice, and that will save you money. But that's about it, right?
You killed that goat.
I know. No, I know. That's why I'm laughing.
So I don't know. I think the story engine is a real problem here. There's
there's
very
not enough.
very little going on.
That's it. I think there is one there, but I think it is very simple. Like,
I mean, it really is, yeah, almost laughably simple actually. It's kind of. Now, interestingly, I think when you consider the pacing and the actual writing technique, that's much better, right?
Yeah.
Because they've got a nice cutscene at the beginning.
like the pacing is very naturally, like, because it's a tower defense game, it naturally ramps up.
Naturally ramps
The
up.
pacing's really good. Interestingly, they described the pacing as a bell curve when I asked them about it, which is clearly like not. So they did get the pacing really well,
Yeah.
intentional or not.
Why would they say it?
There's a bell
Oh,
curve.
because
Well,
that's
the
the
boss?
slide we put up on the lecture and said, oh, this is a pacing curve.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
no! Never mind. So I think
the
the writing's
Oh,
really
there you go.
nice. I think the use of the cutscenes is really nice.
Okay, so actually, I gave them a little bit of a stick for saying it was a bell curve, but actually they're kind of right. It sort of ramps up until the point where either you win or you lose, and then you get this cutscene at the end that sort of brings it back down, sort of gives you a little bit of an epilogue. So that's
The
I don't know,
denouement.
actually they're probably onto something there.
There's also the boss battles as well, which kind
Yeah,
of,
I mean,
you
it's
get the kind of
definitely
lull.
like, yeah.
So you get the kind of build up, then you get a lull, then you get the boss, and then yeah, maybe
a
And it does die
tower
down
defense
at the
puts
end,
that
but it's not.
pacing in there.
it definitely works.
Oh no!
That is awesome.
Presume
And
there's
the
no
guilty
different endings.
victorious.
That's actually is that the first game we've seen that has sort of like a final cutscene? Like most of them just sort of cut to black and say the
Yeah,
end.
at
That's
the end. Or
Finn.
Trolled. Yeah, very very nice.
Have we got
So
anything else we wanna-
so the last thing is agency. So the last part of the pacing and techniques is how do you deal with agency within the thing.
Oh, really? I guess it's
You've
the
got the
choices
choices
of who to let through or not.
And we didn't actually ever do that, so.
Well, we couldn't ever do that. That was sort of the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. So you've got very limited agency.
Yeah, not much agency.
I mean,
Yeah, there's sort of
Yeah.
tactics, but not necessarily agency.
so I think what we've got here is a game, a really nice game, which uses the whole Billy Goats Gruff story as a great premise,
Yeah.
and then carries that nicely through the game. But actually, there is no real narrative engine to speak of. There's very little. There's like a nod to it.
Yeah.
But given that, I think they've done a really nice job with what they've done, including incorporating the narrative elements to it. Effectively, what we talked about in the lectures was having the kind of the fabula, which is the richness of the background and the story and the characters, and then the story layer, which is effectively the plot. And what we asked them to do was with the story engine is have something which manages the plot and has the plot interacting with the actions of the player. And what they've done is they've got a great fabula going on, but they really haven't done very much of the plot there.
If
it
Just
was-
tiny little bit
So
going
it
on.
has that, for example, like you say, that nod that's just, you killed my brother, I will avenge them. But if they just immediately after that had that and the wave got harder as a result,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that,
Just
where
something to
it
tie them
directly
together.
impacts
Yeah.
the gameplay as well as like that
Yeah.
little narrative.
Yeah.
head nod.
Or some other kind of little thing, like just having having the narrative elements in between the waves. So the bit where you can go and buy towers or upgrade the towers, or have something where there's some backstory you're finding out about what's going on. I don't know. You could have put more in here. Part of the problem, of course, is that Tower Defense is such a simple little game that it works really effectively without a narrative.
Yeah.
So it's almost like one of those games where mixing the narrative in perhaps would actually dilute it and make it less pure.
They've done
Or-
a really good job with the protagonist, though.
Yeah, we
It's
love
really
the, we,
sad
we
for the
love
troll to
we
die.
love the sad troll.
I really
He's
hate
great.
those goats, and I'm not sure why.
Okay, we better move on. Good.
Anyway, David.
Catch you in a minute.
I was hoping to get a fire one early on, but failed.
Yeah, I'd say the
Oh, but you
pacing
can
graph is.
let this one through to see how
I can
much
let it through on
changes.
5.
Yeah.
There was no sense of that, was there, of them being bigger and tastier? Let it through. Wait? Really?
Dave says that you're not recording now, right?
Well, we're recording, but we cut this bit out.
Ah, okay, yeah.
What's up?
It's just for the assignments marking for tomorrow at 6. Do you want a hand? Do you want to do any?
Please. So I'm busy all of tonight, and then I've got a lecture in the morning. I've got some time tomorrow afternoon, so I've got some
How many
meetings.
have you done?
I haven't done any.
Okay, well I'll start with Christine, and then
Okay.
and I sent you a link to the Google Doc as well.
Okay.
So I'll do Christine's, and then
Cool.
I'll do a couple of others.
Brilliant.
I'll get as many done as I can.
Okay, thanks, Rob.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Cheers.
You play it. You're not
Will you keep in contact with me on email to say which ones you've done?
Yeah.
Or does the Google Doc...
Yeah,
Oh,
the
you
Google
put
Doc
the
should
marks in
refresh.
the Google Doc. Brilliant. Yeah. So
Thank you,
cheers,
Ricky.
guys.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
What happened when you got that through? What happened when the
Nothing
goat
really.
went through?
Yeah, you just didn't have to fight him.
So it doesn't make any difference to the plot. at
Did we
all.
gain... mechanically, I guess we gained points from killing the boss
Yeah.
when we killed the boss.
So it's actually like a 10-point swing either way.
That is OP. I just killed a whole wave. Where do we want our fire?
Does it take the wave 30 seconds to get through? Don't put it there, God.
Shut your face.
God.
Get 'em early, Tom. You've clearly never played tower defense before. It's also got a short range, isn't it?
It'd be nice if it showed you the range
Oh.
when you put it down as well.
Does it have more damage? It does. Oh. Yeah, I don't care about the boss. We're going to kill this boss.
Should we go on to the next one?
Oh, yeah, probably. Sorry, I'm just really enjoying playing this game. But I'll come and play it another time. Okay, so this next game is called Billy's 3 Gruff Goats. We've had to reopen it in Unity because the dialogue didn't work when we first tried this. Okay, that was strange. That presumably telling us we need to go over there.
So
But we
there's-
didn't get that last time.
Yes, there are some debug things at the bottom that says moving to cutscene point 1. So
So
space
to
to
talk.
talk. There we
There
go.
we go.
weird, that doesn't work in the WebGL version.
So again, you get a sort of dialogue choice, but it's more like the illusion of choice. Whichever one you pick, you still have to go and play the game.
Yeah, you've got to go the same way regardless.
Is that a troll?
I reckon I'm going to struggle to get past this guy.
Yes, you are. You're gonna have to talk to him.
How? Oh, space.
Space.
Wait, there's 2 options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Press
Okay,
twice.
it's the same one.
Ah, that's why. Because one of them is examining the sword, and one of them is talking to the guy. But I think the
Mary's son.
triggers overlap slightly.
Whatever, kid. She's finding us. More podcast. Oh, that was interesting. It updated where we are in the tree.
So this night really fancies your mum?
I got that. It told us that. I didn't realise that was our mother. She looked like an anime character. And we don't. Or really engaged with this dialogue.
So fast that he floats through you and a mountain. Whoosh, there he goes.
But
It's
why did they have to explicitly say that in square brackets in the dialogue? Like, why not just show us him going?
Yeah.
I think it was more just him vanishing from the scene, and that was their explanation for it.
Is this
What do I do?
broken?
I think it has broken a bit.
Oh,
I can move,
well, that's just
it's just broken the camera a
that's
bit.
just how it is now.
but do I get to take this? How do I take it?
You don't. You have to go down the path, and then you get to come back and take it
This
later.
path over here.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I'm so glad that they've broken the camera. Oh no.
Can you click and drag? Like, can you look up, or are you stuck facing down?
No,
No, it's just.
there's been no
so
camera
you've got to go down there on the right, but I don't know. Do you want to try reopening it, or do you want to blunder through like this?
control.
I think getting to the next cutscene might.
That's
Like-
what I'm hoping.
So when you get around this corner, there's the troll.
This feels like one of those things where they've like hard-coded what they expect, like what to do, because they expect you to do things exactly right, and
I
it's
think
not quite worked that way.
I think mostly it's just the fact that the trigger for talking to the knight and looking at the sword overlap.
Yeah.
So it tries
Again,
to
that's still within their
Oh, yeah,
Do the bottom one.
ability.
Yeah, do the bottom one.
Me want go.
So now.
No, why does it kick us out of the dialogue?
So if you do mock the troll again, he hits you with a stick and you die, and it's game over.
Okay.
But at least
That's
he
why I
does,
didn't do it.
at least he warns you that.
So now do you have to go and get the sword, or can you talk your way through it?
Yep, you got to go and get the sword to convince him that you're actually a knight.
Alright, okay.
No,
and that
camera's
didn't
still
fix the camera.
perfect. This is good. I like this. I like constantly looking at the floor. How do I interact with sword?
Same, just press space, I think. But
It looks like it's
it
broken.
looks like it's broken that.
Are we going to start again? Is that the proposal?
I'll be honest, there's not a lot else to the game. You go and talk to the troll, and he gives you. Yeah, those cutscenes definitely.
Do I
seem
have
a
to
little
talk
bit
to
more-
her?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, you talk to the troll and you convince him that you're a knight, and he gives the sheeps back, and then you all have a big dance party together at the end.
Goats.
Exciting.
Goats, yeah.
A goatee dance party.
Yep.
So I need to speak to the guy first, then the
Yeah.
sword.
Try speaking to him from the left hand side.
Billy. She's fine. Obsessed.
So in terms of being Billy Goats Gruff,
There
it's
you
go.
not, apart from
that-
the fact that
yeah.
there's goats.
That thing in the square brackets only makes sense if you're standing here. So when I was standing in a different place, it didn't pass through. Oh, guys, think about it, please.
What were you meant to be pressing space to talk to then?
The sword.
Okay.
But I meant to not do that. So like, gate that. Like, don't let me talk to the sword yet, because I'm not. It's not available yet.
Right, that's the point of the story engine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Like, only unlock the sword when.
Because when you like actually talk to it, it just says, "Yep, it's a sword." So I mean, it's kind of like a Chekhov's gun moment, right? It's highlighting that it will be important later, which.
Well, its existence does that. It's like it's out of character.
Yeah.
It's not clearly not part of that fence. Where's my sword gone?
It's in your pocket.
Pocket. In your weird foot.
Maybe that's why I'm limping.
Yeah. The troll dance is the best of all.
Okay. I don't know. So
Okay.
what happened to the goats?
You brought the goats back. That was it.
Look, there's one stood behind the knight and it's a
Oh,
cow.
So should we
Oh, that's
discuss the various things? So
Yeah.
Yeah, so
quality
what's it-
wise,
Well,
I mean, there's a few bugs.
Yeah.
It was a little bit buggy in the WebGL. We got that working again. It was a little bit buggy with the like lining up who you're talking to and all that jazz.
How are the controls?
Fine. Other than the like not being able to control the camera, like it taking over that, and then mostly because there was a bug and that made it not work.
Yeah.
But yeah, controls generally okay. Clicking through the buttons with the mouse was a bit of a pain, but other than that, not bad. What about story engine? Not sure there was anything story engine related.
I mean,
like I literally I was forced to pick the buttons it wanted me to in the dialogue, so there was no dialogue choice.
You have to do things to trigger other things, but it's very linear.
So, I mean, yeah, there is one. It's just a bit minimal. So, like, you can't pick up the sword until you need to pick up the sword. So there is one at play because it prevents you from doing certain things until the narrative calls for it. But
story engine? It's like it's like a single branch narrative tree, isn't it?
It's still a story engine. It's
like it keeps track of what you've done and stops you doing certain things until you've done it.
Okay.
Like and so like there were bits where if you talk to the knight twice in a row, it remembers that you've spoken to him once before.
That's true. And it also, you said that if you angered the
troll, he just kills you and it's game over.
Okay.
Which is not a fantastic way of using a story engine, but it is definitely a story engine at play.
So
Poetics?
It's not that story.
Yeah. What's the story of Billy Goats Gruff? Let's remind ourselves.
Well, it's about 3 goats and they meet a troll and then they have to trick the troll into letting him pass.
Okay. Which he didn't really do. It threatened the troll into letting them pass.
Yeah.
And there's none of the kind of multiple protagonists working together. You can't trick him because he gets mad at you.
Like, there are certainly elements of it there, but I'm not sure it's sort of pulled together to sort of... Like, the mechanics as metaphor doesn't quite work in that there's not really a lot of mechanics.
No.
There's not a lot of game. Like, you just speak to people. There was nothing else other than moving. And arguably you didn't need to move. You could turn a page. Like, it could be a...
And the same with the dialogue options. It's not a case of you can sneakily convince the knight to do this thing. It's just a case of you have to click this dialogue option or you can't progress.
Yeah.
And what's our last set?
Pacing and techniques.
Yeah.
Techniques wasn't bad. Like
it had a cutscene, kind of.
Sort of a little cutscene, and it locking onto who you're talking to, and you've got the different perspectives. Like you were looking up at the what's it called, at the troll, which was quite nice. It gave the sense of them being imposing.
It's got this cutscene at the end.
I'm not sure that's valuable because it's not actually told the end of the story.
Why are all the characters there?
So they were saying they went for a deliberately silly ending to sort of have that sort of epilogue and that sort of ease of tension at the end. But you're right, I'm not sure it's quite appropriate to the story. If it was just a cutscene showing Billy bringing the goats back to his mother, that would have been plenty.
Yeah, and you could make some humour in that, but you need to show the resolution of the story. This isn't a resolution of the story.
No.
He didn't save the 3 gruff goats. Where were the goats? Were the goats in danger? I guess you got a little bit of that from the threatening troll behaviour, but I don't really feel it. It doesn't draw together fully.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. It feels like this hasn't been quite given enough time to expand out.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
But were the positive, the dialogue system was there, and the the cutscening and stuff like that. I felt like they're building on the techniques of narrative delivery quite well, but there wasn't quite enough. Wasn't really any game there, and it needed a bit more tying into choice and meaningful choice.
You definitely still had that 3-act structure, right at the start. You'll pose this dramatic question, and then you acquire the means to do it by sort of tricking the knight out of his sword, and then you resolve it at the end. So in that sense, the structure is there. It's just
the means. Yeah.
It's just the sort of the meat of the game, the acquiring the means. Mm-hmm. There's not really a lot to it, like you say.
Yeah. Yeah. If there was a bit more gameplay around acquiring those means, I don't know what you could do. I don't know. You could have some puzzle in terms of tricking that guy, or there could be some sort of chase or a maze to navigate to find the thing. So something a bit more playful.
Like back to sort of the notion of agency, you could combine it with that, right? So do you like sneakily trick the troll into doing this, or do you just grab the goats and run, and based on that it changes
something? Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, shall we wrap it up there?
Yeah.
Okay, so our next game is the 3 Billy Goats Gruff 3D game, which is descriptive if nothing else.
Dave's back, in case you hadn't noticed. So who played this in the Xbox?
I played this one in the Xbox.
Why? So we looked at this accidentally beforehand.
Look.
What I like about this is that you sort of get a sense that the controls are over to the right,
Yeah.
but the only way to get there is by moving the mouse, and then you get there and you're like, oh, it never told me to move the mouse. I'm not sure if that was an intentional, like, oh, well, they're bound to figure it out.
Why didn't they just start you facing them anyway?
I mean, to be fair, we figured it out, but
Yeah, I wonder if it's to force you to figure it out.
yeah.
Right.
So
Let's cross the bridge
go across the bridge, off we go.
Oh, no.
and then jump. So you've got to
There's
jump. Alright?
It's very
I don't-
floaty.
I don't think there is any need to jump.
Oh, as usual then.
Yeah. It is kind of weird, that, isn't it? There's a lot of games.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, why do you keep putting things over there? I can't quite see it.
So the trolls asked us a question, give him a reason to pass the bridge.
Okay, what we got?
Do I press numbers?
My power level
yeah.
is over 9,000. I'm strong, new, I'm hungry, I'm small and skinny, wait for my bigger brother.
What do you think the right answer is?
Oh, I
it-
think 4's
is
the
it
right
number
answer.
4?
But I'm going to say 3.
Oh, wrong
Ro-
answer.
oh.
I'll let you. Start again.
Start again. Get out.
Okay.
So what do you think the right answer is this time?
Is it 4?
It is 4. Congratulations.
Let's try
1.
4.
Oh,
You pressed the wrong answer again, didn't you?
might have
Are
chosen.
you going to just check that they're all wrong answers?
No.
There we go.
You chose the right answer.
Proceed to
Okay.
grass.
So they did that dialogue there. Why did they not do that with the other dialogue? Why is it on a screen?
I don't know.
Well done. And now we're the second goat.
Now, what question do you think you're going to get asked this time?
What solve the math
Is there a
problem.
time limit? Okay, so 3 plus
I thought I was going to
7,
get asked what was the
10,
capital of Assyria.
40. It's none of them. Have I done it wrong?
Solve the math problem. Yeah, the problem is this is a whole
3?
precedence question, right?
What is your name?
3 plus.
31, right?
Oh,
So-
7
Unless I
times
can't
4,
maths.
31. Yeah, sorry. I did maths. I,
It's not
for some
really.
reason, I got 10 over there.
Well
Chose
done.
the right answer.
Right answer.
So
The
you
controls are very floaty.
well done. Okay.
You remember when I said you don't need to jump? That might have been a lie.
I'm going
When do
to
you-
press X to attack your horns, aim for the troll's head.
Oh.
Okay, so jump and
Bonk.
X.
Bonk,
Bonk.
bonk. Well
Right.
done.
That troll wasn't very menacing.
Okay,
No.
killed the troll. But we're back again. The troll's
I think
still there.
it just puts you back to that checkpoint.
Oh, okay.
When you get game.
Can we restart this? I want to see if you get a different question.
You don't.
You don't get a different question.
You do not.
Why am I spewing?
You don't get a different question. Sorry, I know you shook your head there, but I just want to make. There's not a different question. Can you restart the
That's what I say,
game?
we can check.
Because Tom's trying to fool me into thinking that there's not multiple questions in this.
Why does it keep restarting? There we go. Let's
Here we
restart.
go, Tom. We'll sort you out.
I can see why they didn't generate lots of questions.
It's possible, like, the
rest
laws
of
of
the games.
probability say that we just happen to get the same question. But
Oh, what's happened now? There we go.
Okay, let's go for it. So we're gonna. Where do you think you're going? Yeah, go on. Do 4. I was kind of expecting this one to be maybe the same, although it would have been nice to mix it up.
Because narratively, it like
Yeah.
leads you into it, doesn't
But
it?
the next one, right? Obviously they're going to ask something different.
You reckon that they're randomly generating the mouse questions?
Oh, just having a good, nice set of questions. Let's look.
Nope.
Well, yes.
There's
Okay,
not a lot
so
of meaningful choice going on here, is there?
I think part of the problem here is that there's just not a lot going on,
mm.
right? There really isn't a lot going on.
Just spewing.
So I'm trying to remember what the total number of hours is that they're supposed to send on this. I think it's 40 hours
40
each.
hours, yeah.
I think it's 40 each, isn't it?
40 each. So this should represent 80 hours of development time. And it doesn't.
Oh.
Alright. So, I mean, if we go through the things that we're kind of looking at, so in terms of the quality, does it fulfill the brief? Well, it kind of uses the story, I suppose. It takes you through it. The controls work. There are some mechanics and they work. The problem really is scale, right?
Yeah.
And complexity. So it's just nowhere near the complexity and the scale that we need. In terms of a story engine, there's a kind of natural progression of the three goats, but there's no real engine controlling any kind of choices you kind of have. There's
it just restarts you if you make
there's no variety. One of the earlier games we looked at was that kind of Groundhog Day dynamic, and actually you could have said, with this, we're not going to build any more assets or anything. We're just going to have that kind of Groundhog Day thing where you just go back. And this is a game about goats trying to cross a bridge, right? And it's just every time you cross the bridge, something interesting happens, or you get asked a different question, and every now there's a curveball, and then something happens, right? You could have, I think, in a couple of hours, added quite a substantial amount on top of this, right? But none of that is there, so I can't see a story engine really.
No.
There's no story engine at all. There's nothing.
There's a basic progression, I guess, but that's it. And in terms of the gameplay, it does follow the story, but there's no real meaningful play. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So it can't therefore follow the gameplay. And then the last thing is about the writing and the techniques. And how they've done to tell the story, and there isn't really. There's some in-game information, and that's it. There's no
the dialogue pop-ups were fancy looking. Like they weren't particularly easily readable, but they were fancy looking.
But again, even something at the beginning saying, the three goats are stuck on the one side of the canyon, and there's no premise.
No.
So quite disappointing, I think, in terms of the scope of what they've done and how they've addressed. And we've seen some other games which are very, very simple set of assets and spaces, and they've done stuff with it. And I genuinely think that with a half day's work on top of this, you could have actually added in some of these elements that we're talking about.
It's all about
with it.
Yeah. I think what they've failed to do is realise what they could do with this.
Yeah.
Like they've had this very basic setup, but didn't imagine what you could do to tell us, like what story needed to be in there.
You've
what
got
the choices were.
You've kind of got a couple of mechanics. Presumably, you can fall off the edge.
Nope. Can't even fall off the edge.
Okay.
I was trying that.
You can't fall off the edge, but you've got the thing where you try and cross and get asked a question, right?
Oh,
so it's basically a game about being asked questions.
No.
And you could have done something with that, but they haven't. Quite disappointing. Shall we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay, so our fourth game is called Billy and Beast.
Not Billy and the Beast.
Billy and the Beast. I believe it was.
As in tale as old
You
as
saw
time.
this. I saw this in the expo.
It's alright. I'd be willing to play this.
It's a little naked man.
Obviously.
You can't go outside, you're not dressed.
Wait, where do I get my clothes?
You do get clothes later, but
later.
not right now.
You have to go outside.
Is this a callback to that game in the first set of the first coursework with the naked guy and the crafting and stuff?
They're surprised you're really close. Right. Left control to examine. Oh, give me a shot.
Well, that's a bit.
So that's a bug. It wasn't like that in the expo. Like they were moving around fairly normally.
Oh, okay.
I do quite like the little exclamation mark pop-ups.
Yeah. So it's certainly one we talked about in one of the earlier groups where we were saying, a little bit of direction like that's always quite good.
Yeah. So there's a monster that's killing people, basically.
Okay, so we're finding out some information. You unseal the gate. I will find my trousers.
That's a bit weird. So I'm
Yeah,
going
houses
upwards
that are not
into this. No, but look, and then I go straight out the door
yeah,
right.
because
yeah.
if I hold up too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
It's a bit strange that you've got to swap between left control and enter to progress through dialogues.
Yeah.
Could just be enter for both. couldn't
Yeah,
it?
it could, couldn't it?
Do you reckon I can get any other things? A little bit tricky to tell what's interactable and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gate is open. Speak to the monster.
Should I go in all the houses, or should I just...
Yeah, let's have a look in there.
I see. If you collide with them, then you get a leftwards momentum that you can't get
yeah,
rid
I
of.
feel like this is being quite buggy, and it didn't look buggy in the expo.
That's a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that buggy. Like, it's just that one thing. What probably happened is that they had the sense they knew what the patrol paths were, so they didn't walk into their NPCs. Whereas I don't know, so I'm just walking into them.
Mm.
Oh, there you go.
So I've forgotten the particular name of it. What's that cinematography technique where, like, when you're filming dialogue between characters, you always make sure one is on the one side of the screen and the other is on the other.
Right. Yeah.
Same applies to like buildings and stuff, right? If you walk in somewhere, the exit should be behind you, not in front
Yes.
of you.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's telling us we ought to go and talk to this monster.
Where's the monster? Out of town.
There's this. Yeah, I think it's the other way. There's an exit out of
Just
town
a
the other
block,
way.
yeah. So I quite like the fact you've got this little kind of sandbox to learn to start with.
Mm.
So
Get out of
chief
my way then.
wants you to speak to the monster.
Oh, there's the monster.
Ah, there it is.
It's a very small monster.
Before I eat one of your legs. One of your ankles. Sam, your strongest warrior. There you go.
But again, sort of like signposting the fact that this thing is dangerous by strewing bones everywhere. That's kind of nice.
I'm far too old to fight. Take my armour. Aha! Find it in my house, closest to the gate, do you say?
Yeah.
Is that-
So
It's
that
probably that
that
one
one.
you were
no,
right next to
the other gate,
before.
the one you just went through.
Yeah.
So it must be that house there, which is...
Why didn't you say this house just here?
Because he might not be standing there.
Or maybe you should stop moving around on...
Ah, there we go. And now there's a... So that's obviously changed the state. That's good. So now we're slightly less naked. We're still going in and out of houses for a living.
What about a sword? Where do I
So
have to
do
go?
you think that might be up the top left, maybe?
I don't know, you just said the gate. Like, everything's a bloody gate in this game.
So
Yeah,
Right,
that's
that
a-
block's gone.
that
Yeah,
block's gone,
one
yeah.
up. That's an interesting way of.
There we go.
So now we have to learn about this monster to know how best to defeat it.
Yeah, I think that's
Guns.
the idea.
But what kind of guns?
Big guns.
Just in the next room. Okay.
Which way's the next room?
I mean, probably the pathway behind him, I would imagine. But
But what's over here?
some holes.
Why does that look where it exists, other than to
That was just to
draw
annoy
over
you.
there? It is just to annoy me.
Can you examine those statues?
Examine the water, maybe? No?
It's nice to soak your feet before battle. Alright. Let's go to the top then.
Oh, very edgy tile
Hmm.
based.
Mm.
Oh,
So this is the thing, right? He said go and learn about the monster and then pick a weapon. So I don't know if we want to choose one yet.
So how do
How do
we
we
go
learn
and
about the
learn about the monster? Alright, let's do that.
well, should I
you
not
saw
know
this in the
what?
expo, right? Was there?
Say the witch who cast a plague.
So I remember sort of them talking about this in development.
I remember
a
them
little
talking
bit.
about
So
it in development.
I think if you go like into some of the houses again now, you can find some clues.
Yeah,
Let's
I
do
think
that.
the idea is you're meant
Go to
to
the
find
house.
clues.
Let's
to-
go and have a look at some of the houses in the village.
There were
Again.
like bookcases and things, right? It's probably
Yes.
one of
Yeah.
those.
It's not that far.
But my legs are tiny, look at me. And I'm wearing armour now, I'm knackered.
Okay.
Should I go my house?
No, you might as well.
Yeah, just go in all the houses.
Just check them.
So things we can interact with still have an exclamation mark, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was just
The chest. The chest.
yeah, the
that we
chest
picked
did
up.
and
Oh,
the weapons
yeah, the weapons
did.
did,
So
yeah. Until you'd interacted with them once.
There's something there, I think.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. So there's some. Okay.
I can ask him.
Hey, come back.
Killed all 3 of our goats.
All our jumbo fruit have vanished.
I like jumbo fruit.
So at least there's a link there to the Billy story. The library has books on
Right,
souls
so
and
the
ogres.
library has different books on different
So
monsters.
do you think it's a library? Is that a sign? Can you read the sign?
Pretty
I
not.
don't think so.
There's no exclamation mark.
There's books.
So it has pitch black eyes and blood red
Yeah.
skin.
We saw that already. We saw him.
Oh yeah.
Ogres.
So they eat jumbo fruit, and its scales are tough.
Didn't
Sharp
it just
dagger.
say ogres? Its scales are even tougher than an ogre.
It did say
that's
that.
a bit weird. Let's read that one. So that kind of implied that the dagger would pierce its books and grass.
Wait, is it a troll or a...
Well, that's
Trolls.
that's the thing. We've got to work
Foul
it out.
creatures that pollute towns. Only human flesh.
So a mace or a dagger are our
So,
options.
so it's
Depending on
an,
whether it's a troll or an ogre.
but it's an ogre, right? Because they eat jumbo
Jumbo
fruit, and all the jumbo fruit
I
was
see.
taken.
So you reckon there's potential that we'd get
How
different clues?
Did it say it was jumbo fruit?
Yeah,
It said
Yeah.
this box is empty.
yeah.
Oh, when we spoke to the guy,
We
he
spoke
said,
to the guy, he said
Oh.
jumbo fruit.
I should pay attention more.
check his library because I bet there's a 3rd monster in there.
Yeah, for the
On
third
the desk.
weapon.
Who's lo-
On
the
the
Oh yeah,
desk.
I didn't see that. That was a pen.
Ogres.
More ogres.
Okay.
Wait, so
Wait.
sword or
Ogres.
dagger?
So I have a feeling
I
that
think
that
that
other
thing-
one isn't meant to say ogres.
I think that's meant to be a different monster.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So I think it's an ogre. I think we want
Sword.
a
So-
sword.
Oh, that's what I was going to take in the first place.
But
So
wait.
The other thing is, it said so one of them kills humans for fun and the others eat them. How are we supposed to know what?
I think it probably
Didn't it say it was
said.
going to eat us?
I think it said
Ah,
it
it
was
did.
yeah.
I remembered.
But also, it's
So-
been eating
so
goats. So I
sword.
thought goats were its
Yeah.
thing.
Again, a bit annoying to go to
Why
the
are
mouse.
those buttons? Yeah.
Okay, so now we have a health bar.
Oh, hello.
That's some things with health bars.
You can throw it with the space bar.
Throwing it seems like a bad. Oh, okay.
Ah.
Fine.
Immediately return another one to your hand.
So that's nice. It's,
Okay.
So they couldn't be bothered to implement like a sword animation. So it's like, well, if we fire it like a weapon, that's easier, and we'll just generate a new.
Let's go for it.
but that's kind of nice. So it gives
It
you like a
worked
chance
for
to try it out
Gauntlet.
before it gives you like the final boss, I guess. They're not really moving a lot, these snakes.
It's probably good. They take a lot of sword
That's a lot of
throws to
sort.
kill.
In my experience, one
Whoa,
good swish.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
As the cowardly Billy fled, the beast. Have we?
So you fled?
I don't think we did flee.
No,
Oh,
we
was I
didn't
meant
flee.
not meant to fight the snakes and go straight to the?
No, it definitely asked you to, but it seemed to. I think that looks like a bug.
Yeah.
Or did we
that-
just take too long to kill? Like
The snakes.
Or to
But
like.
there's a
work-
lot of snakes.
Yeah.
We could have killed all the snakes. Would have been there all day.
That must have been a bug.
Yeah, it must be. Which is a real shame.
That is a shame. Should we see if we can?
Start talking about it, and
And then
I'll.
we'll zip through and just go straight to the
Yeah.
ogre and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, we can probably just take the sword this time.
Alright, so quality wise, it's quite nice.
It's quite good, isn't it? I mean, it's all put together.
Some of these animations seem a little bit wobbly, but
And the clipping on the tiles and things are a bit rough, but generally speaking, it all hangs together really well. It's definitely playable.
Mhm.
There are some key mechanics. You've got the dialogue system is there, in and out of houses.
Sword throwing.
Sword throwing. Yeah, it's good. Story engine. So it's all done through dialogue. It definitely remembers the state because the dialogue options change as you move
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, it's things like, you look so nice in your new armour and so on.
Yeah, and it therefore reacts to not just dialogue choices but also things you've done in the game, which is good. Poetics.
I mean, it's the Billy Goats Gruff, but it doesn't really have that.
It's basically said we want to do the Billy Goats Gruff story, but we can't be bothered with the actual story of the Billy Goats Gruff. So we'll take the it's the aftermath.
I mean, it's a reinterpretation. And again, we said reinterpretations were fine, but it still doesn't have that same vibe of there are 3 characters.
Yes.
One of them is really strong. One of them is really small.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were trying to mirror it with like you find the strongest warrior to defeat it, the biggest, strongest goat.
Yeah. I mean, there's a choice of the 3 weapons, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's still It's sort of what they've done is they've been quite clever in actually translating the story. So as an alternative version of the story with echoes of the original, they've done a good job. But that's not what we're after. What we're after is having the mechanics of the game echoing the essence of the story, right? And going and finding a weapon and finding out about a creature and how to defeat it doesn't really match that whole process. So I think okay.
That looks like.
What's that? Do you think he's ever going to attack you?
Hope not.
I mean, you can make sure of it. Can you go back to the other side?
No, I'm stuck. Oh no, there's a bug. Can't tell if they're hitting.
Yeah,
It's a bit more
it's
big
going
fast.
down very slowly.
His
I know,
bar's
but-
going down.
I need to like
Yeah.
take that bad guy.
Hey.
With the base slain Billy, our hero, somebody that you say once more. So I like that final scene.
Oh,
That's
you've got
nice.
a statue. That's nice.
Yes.
Oh, that is cute.
Is that Aldo? Or is that
That's
I
you.
can't tell.
I mean, it's you.
dead Aldo?
Look, it's standing the same way and everything.
There's only one way to find out. Oh, this isn't interactive. I think this is just a screenshot.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like
It's got kind of like a so pacing and techniques. So it's got that beginning bit in the village. Then it's got kind of
It's got a definite story arc, like a three act story arc.
yeah.
It sort of immediately ramps up the tension when you see like the monster.
Yeah,
and
it
then
does
sort of
have
dips off
that
as you go
early
back
thing,
Yeah.
and then it has the same thing with the kind of at the end. You have the fighting with it. I mean, I know it's
The
buggy, but the
snakes.
fighting with the snakes, and then going and fighting with. So I actually think they've done quite a reasonable job with the pacing.
Yeah.
What about the character design? That's a bit more lacking, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
a little
not
bit
so-
lacking.
I mean, again, they characterise what the antagonist is through the literature, but
Yeah.
I mean, mechanics-based antagonists, right? You don't really care what they are as a character. They're only
Yeah.
there to be defeated.
And blocking the bridge.
Mm.
But even so, you kind of
But they
there's
don't-
not an awful lot about the village or about kind of then it build it
Like,
up particularly.
I don't remember this at the start, but who was Aldo in relation to us? Why is he giving us like the armor? Like,
I mean, it
Is
seemed
he
like
out-
he
is he
was
out?
He's
some
like,
warrior.
isn't he the chief of the?
and-
He's like the main warrior of the village, so he's like. Looks
Yeah,
like
because
he-
he's like,
Like,
get the strongest warrior.
establishing some sort of if Aldo always dies,
Yeah.
make that hurt. Establish some sort of relationship between us. Don't make him just some guy that's told us to go and do something.
Yeah.
Show that we care
Yeah.
about him and we should be sad and want to
Yeah,
avenge him.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
that only needs a few lines of dialogue, right? Like you
Yeah.
could
again, it's
explain-
about just kind of not developing the story aspect particularly well, right? It's there is a story. The game sort of follows the story. There's a story engine, but the story itself doesn't really do very much or try to do very much. It's not ambitious as a story.
Yeah.
And I think the best narrative games are ambitious as a story. What about agency and about how agency manifests here and how it's managed?
You've got the choice of the swords,
And that affects
Yeah.
how hard the final battle is.
and it's a meaningful choice because they present. So it's a calculation really because
Yeah,
if you hunt
present
and
all
find
the
all the
information.
information,
yeah.
one of them should objectively be better. But
Yeah.
I
But
still
you do
think
have
that's
to find that information.
But I mean, essentially, it's fairly tightly controlled. You've got this sort of open section in the village where you can visit the houses in any order and everything, and you're piecing together this kind of mosaic picture of what's happened. But then it's kind of like, okay, go and get the sword, go and fight them, and then it becomes quite linear.
Mm.
So it's managed in that way. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but you thought, you could have done a little bit more with it. So again, I think a kind of as a sandbox to build on, it's good. You could do a lot more with it. And there's the beginnings of some nice stuff here, but perhaps just not as fully developed as I would have liked to assume anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Move on?
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay, so our last game is called, imaginatively, Billy Goats Gruff. Brackets, the Clipart one, but I think that was under duress, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I forced them to add a subtitle.
Okay.
So I saw this one, so Rachel was going to play it.
Okay, press space to progress and click on the options. Who's that tripping over my bridge?
Oh, it is only I, the tiniest Billy Goat Gruff. I want to eat you. Okay.
Are you going to hit me?
No, say the bottom one. You just crossed over.
Okay. That was
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
That was very bizarre.
Did you notice
Really,
how the goat got slightly bigger? It's exactly the same clip art, but it's slightly bigger.
But he smashed the bridge.
You look like you've already had enough.
Troll smashing the bridge again.
but has absolutely no consequence.
You should know I'm working on my weight.
And what was the biggest piece of clip art you've ever seen?
I could sit on that troll. He talks in capitals as well.
Yeah. Now I come to cobble you up.
Okay.
Press R to restart.
So that's the
Lovely.
consequence.
Yeah. But
Has
none
the
of it.
big Billy Goat attempted to charge
why?
its teeth right through the weekend?
Oh, so he
Bridge
smashed the bridge. The
Oh,
bridge
it's-
boards
so
were
the-
weakened.
Bridge weekend, but
Right.
they haven't done anything in
There
terms
you
of
go.
the information design or the game view to demonstrate that.
Yeah.
Like, change that. Like
Just
this is,
put-
Remove some of those.
yeah, get rid of a
planks.
couple of boards.
this
or
is not a
something.
very complex game. At the very least, do something to make it clear that something has happened to that bridge.
Right.
Let's
Just
pick-
like-
Is it
let's pick the
a
right
game?
Let's go for this.
It's a
one.
game in the same way that a choose your own adventure is. Like you have the choice of 3 options each time, and it takes you off on this little branching narrative.
Okay.
But
It is about as simple a version of that as you can possibly.
yes, yeah, absolutely.
Um,
I'm not even sure choose your own adventures are really games.
I think it's
Like they're interactive narratives, but they're not. There's no play.
Let's not get into that.
I knew that. I knew that behind your update.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no gameplay. Like it's just pick one of the 9 ways. Oh,
you've got 2 choices.
you've not got 3 choices.
I can't
Small
restart
goat,
this
medium goat,
anymore.
and the
so-
big goat
Yeah, you
always
don't get any
happens.
choice with the big
Okay,
goat.
so 2 choices of 3 each. So that's 9 different.
That
six.
that doesn't seem like a happy ending either.
So 6 outcomes, depending on which,
Oh, yeah.
because the first 2 got 3 outcomes each. So basically, you make 2 sets of 2 sets of 1 of 3 choices, and then 1 of 6 outcomes happens automatically.
Yeah. So that's
And there's no way of
I can't
knowing.
restart it anymore.
so that's because in the first choice we picked the right option.
Yeah,
In that we said, oh no, wait for the bigger goat.
yeah.
Which is probably not the right option.
Which
That
I
doesn't
think we
seem
were
like-
supposed to say, oh no, let me go and get fat, and then I'll be tastier.
So if we look at this and talk about quality, so it's a bit like the one we looked at earlier on in this video,
Yeah.
where
Let's say the middle one.
Like
they've taken the brief, the controls work, there is a mechanic and it works,
that's the thing. It's
but the problem is just complexity again. This is
what it is relatively well polished for what it is, but there's not
But-
enough
but-
there for that to be meaningful.
and again, we're talking about 80 hours work,
Yeah.
right? And this looks to me like it's a couple of hours work,
Yeah.
right?
What do I say here then? Probably this one.
Probably less for someone who knows Unity really well.
Yeah.
So I mean that is just a huge problem when you've done 2 or 3% of the effort required. That is a big problem. So in terms of the story engine, there is a story engine. It remembers the choices you've made.
Yeah.
And in terms of how well it links the mechanics with,
there are no mechanics.
there's no
mechanics.
mechanics other than the choosing and it doesn't even pick on that. Pacing and techniques.
It's got,
Again, there's just this
got dialogue delivery,
Yeah.
but
and there's barely anything else to talk about.
It basically is a giant cutscene, like.
Yeah. Again, disappointing, I think.
Yeah.
unfortunately so.
Okay, well, it's a shame to end on that one because we've had some other good ones, but I think that's the last of our batch of 5. So we will be back with another video
Shortly.
shortly.